Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Death Battle, and today, we got a Marvel vs. DC fight with Nightwing taking on Daredevil. Yeah, the first Robin taking on the Demon of Hell's Kitchen. This is gonna be interesting. So, shall we take a look? Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
Hey everybody, want to let you know we have an all-new Death Battle tee. If you guys like the way it looks and you want to pick one up, just click the link in the description below.
It's beautiful. I bet. Jeez. Here we go.
In a world where superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
True.
But
Gotta
these
use
guys
those skills.
have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege of Batman.
And Daredevil, Marvel's man without fear. He's Wiz and I'm
go.
Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win,
Who would win
a death battle.
Fun in live action, so we'll look at that later.
In modern times, the questionable whimsies of the circus are all but dead.
And good riddance, because the world doesn't need any more clowns.
Yet in its
Harsh.
heyday, few performances could top the trapeze mastery of the
Flying
Flying
Graysons.
Graysons.
Well, until a mobster cut their cord on life short. Literally.
Literally.
But they had a son, young yet just as talented as them.
Richard Grayson.
Orphaned and alone, all seemed hopeless for Dick Grayson.
Until he scored the coolest foster dad in the frickin' universe. The goddamn Batman.
And under the Cape Crusader, Dick wasn't just a son, he was a sidekick, a superhero. He was
Original
Robin.
Robin.
Until he wasn't.
You got knocked the f
Look out!
Robin spent many
Yeah, it started off as Robin, but nowadays, he's Nightwing. He's definitely brought out on his own. So, I think if I remember recently in like some comics, Robin was actually, well, at least the Dick Grayson we know, was apparently trained up by the Illuminati, or the Court of the Owls, I think they call them, to be it. Apparently he was the target of the original incident. Yeah, the Graysons were just switching up the act last minute. So apparently, Dick was supposed to fall and die, not his parents. I'm not kidding, look it up. Anyway.
years
Reminds me,
kicking
cool.
bad guys around the back alleys of Gotham City with his new dad. Who could forget the time he crushed Blockbuster under a truck, or when he whipped out that shark repellent? Never leave home without it, kids.
But then Batman suddenly realized, you know what? Bringing kids into battle is actually a bad idea. So he fired him, and then promptly forgot this little revelation.
Only time to update the resume, Batman. Probably for the best, though. I mean, come on! The kid didn't even have a proper pair of pants. What's your problem, Bruce? Batman. Whoa!
Yeah, ignore
the
that
mouth on this one.
Actually, it was for the best, though not in the way Batman hoped. Inspired by a story of an ancient Kryptonian
there it is.
superhero, Dick took to the streets by himself with a brand new uniform and a brand new name. From then on, he would be known as Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Gotta hand it to Bats. He sure knows how to mold a kid into a criminal-crushing machine. With expertise in taekwondo, ninjutsu, aikido, and a bunch of other styles, Nightwing is one of the finest martial artists in comic book history.
No doubt helped by his world-class acrobatic skills. He is one of only 3 people on Earth who are capable of performing a quadruple flip.
And
Wow.
between the fancy schooling he got at Hudson U and being a founding member of the Teen Titans, he's got brains and brawn, plus a whole lot of weapons.
Nightwing's suit is
Hey, well, it works,
lightweight,
right?
bulletproof, and makes virtually no sound when moving. The blue colors even turn black while in the dark. His mask features a holographic UI complete with night vision and a spectral analyzer.
He's rocking utility belts on his wrists and ankles full of lockpicks, smoke pellets, and staples that are so strong they can support the weight of a freaking helicopter.
He also carries a rebreather, grapple gun,
Basically
and
anything
wing
Batman could do,
wings.
he could do.
That weird alien font with all the shapes? Oh, I'll figure out your secret
No,
one day,
wingdings is what he calls.
No, more like the batarangs or thrown shurikens. The standard wingdings are extremely sharp, but he also carries dulled, ultrasonic, and explosive variants.
But
It
let's
helps.
get to the good stuff. Like his
Leviton.
2 screaming sticks
Eskrima sticks.
that are great for beating the shit out of people. And they'll be pretty shocked when they find out Nightwing has wired them with 50,000 volt tasers.
Despite their falling out, Nightwing clearly remains inspired by the gadgets and skills of his baddie mentor. and he's put them to good use.
He's strong enough to punch people through solid walls and smash through a sheet of ice from underwater
World's
and
greatest
hold
acrobat.
back the 19,000 pounds per
that
square
was
inch bite force of an orca.
And while breaking a car window doesn't sound impressive, Nightwing's done so while the car was underwater, and therefore pressurized. To pull this off, he needed to impact the glass with over 24,000 pounds per square inch.
He's quick enough to dodge point-blank gunfire, skilled enough to leap through the city while blindfolded, and tough enough to survive falling off a building.
Generally, any unsafe landing over 21 feet is guaranteed to break bone.
And Nightwing dropped 140 feet onto his butt, and he was fine.
Ouch.
And we've all fallen on our tailbone. That shit
Oh.
sucks.
At one point, Nightwing spent 96 hours patrolling city streets looking for the criminal mastermind Two-Face, and an additional 5 or more hours collecting evidence. A 2010 study on sleep deprivation noted that 72 hours without sleep leads to a number of horrendous side effects, including hallucinations.
But when it was time to leap between blimps hundreds of feet in the air and give Two-Face the beatdown he deserved, you couldn't even tell Nightwing was in desperate need of a nap. And don't forget, he was trained by the #1 detective in the world. He's good enough to solve a kidnapping with a single look at the scene of a crime.
Even more impressive, he once performed a skydive at 930 miles per hour, which took all of 15 minutes. That puts his starting
that's
position around 25 miles high and free-falling faster than the speed of sound. For reference, real-life Austrian athlete Felix Baumgartner performed a similar great leap from 24 miles up, hitting a maximum speed over 800 miles per hour. To pull this off, he needed a specialized suit to protect him from the extreme cold, unfiltered sunlight, and lack of oxygen. One mistake in movement could have put him into a rapid spin, rendering him unconscious and causing his blood to boil.
And Nightwing just did it without any of that. Damn.
He's certainly tough, but he's had his fair share of
Well, human.
losses. His scarred body is proof of that.
And eventually, him and Bats finally made up. He even took up the cowl himself when Batman was out for a while. Nightwing is one superhero who will always come out on top, along with his partners, Jim and Juan.
What?
I mean, it's right here in the intern's notes. Who's Jim and Juan?
Oh, that's the names these ladies gave his butt cheeks.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, guess you can't argue with the ass on that dick.
Robin?
I haven't used that name in a long time. Call me Nightwing.
Yeah, Robin was the very first Robin to be Nightwing was the first Robin to be trained by Batman, so he's got a lot of skills behind those belts. So his butt cheeks being called Jim and Juan. Eesh. Tell me you're thirsty without being called, without telling me you're thirsty. Yikes. Saying. Well, it really goes to show you, Robin's got, we'll keep calling him that, sorry. Nightwing has got a lot going for him, you know? Remember, he's the first. Well, one down, let's check out Daredevil and see who's roaming around Hell's Kitchen.
Before he became the man without fear, Matthew Murdock was the son of a professional boxer named Battling Jack.
Sounds
Go
like
Jack.
a badass. But Jack actually boxed because it was the only thing he was good at, and he needed money to get his kid through school so that little Matt would have a better life than he did.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, what a good dad.
Go Jack.
He's punching people for his kid.
Matt still trained in secret with his father's exercise equipment, molding himself into a powerful fighter and an expert acrobat. This new athletic ability would come in handy when he witnessed a blind man walking right in front of a speeding truck.
Feeling especially heroic that day, Matt dove in
What's
to
up?
push the guy to safety, but the truck crashed, sending
Yeah,
some weird
unfortunately,
acid
it's-
stuff flying all over Matt's face.
From
Right into
that
his
day
eyes.
forward, Matt was permanently blind.
I can't see! I can't see!
Yep.
Still, Matt did not give up on the dream his father wanted. He earned his degree with flying colors and founded a law firm with his friend Foggy Nelson. Things were
Nelson?
actually looking up for him.
Well, except for when his
yeah,
dad
yeah.
was killed by a mobster for ruining a rigged boxing match. Because you can't be a superhero unless you've lost your parents.
Matt was distraught. His world had come crashing down around him, and he couldn't even see it happen. But he could hear it, smell it, feel it.
Yeah, 'cause turns out that radioactive goop didn't just blind Matt, it gave him superpowers. So
much.
he dressed up like the devil himself and literally scared the mobster to death.
And so, Daredevil was
Devil
born.
was born.
Many blind people, particularly those born with it, experience a rewriting of the brain to heighten their other senses, somewhat making up for their lack of sight.
Something similar happened to Daredevil, except like 100 times greater.
His touch became
Yeah, basically, in one sense, to heighten up everything else. It's pretty crazy. It has the superhero levels too. Like, you gotta admit, it's pretty nuts, like, how much it happens. But remember, with superhuman hearing, yeah, that's gonna be very sensitive to, like, allow, like, say, flashbang. Sure, we'll blind him, but it's gonna disorient him with that big old boom. Anyway.
so sensitive he can tell when a person is close to him simply from the disturbance in the air. His ears can pick up the faintest of sounds, from the slightest movement of an enemy to the rising heartbeat of someone who's lying. His taste can detect each separate ingredient in any recipe, including poisons, and his nose can track you down like a bloodhound.
Who needs eyes when you can sense everything around you to the smallest detail? But he couldn't use his blind powers as well as he does without the training under a super secret warrior named Stick. No relation.
With Stick's help, Matt mastered several fighting styles, including ninjutsu, Krav Maga, and Kung Fu.
And get this, Stick had basically the same blind powers as Daredevil.
Whoa. Silk sheets.
Thanks to him, Matt learned how to hone his senses, to know and maneuver through his surroundings even better than those with working eyes. He also learned how to tap into something called an atom-induced radar sense.
Like that thing that bats do when they bounce sound around to see in the dark or whatever?
Sort of. That's sonar, or echolocation, and he can use it too. But thanks to his radioactive origins, Daredevil can actually emit electromagnetic energy waves from his body, which bounce off objects in his vicinity, painting a picture of his surroundings in his head. This means he doesn't even need sound to find and take down an opponent.
So he's got a ton of ways to make up for his eye problem, but he's also got some awesome gear to help him take out the bad guys. Like his devil suit that's bulletproof, shockproof, flameproof, and a perfect backup plan whenever he forgets to prep for a Halloween party.
For combat, he built a versatile weapon out of his most innocuous possession, a walking cane.
By day, he's a feeble blind man slowly tapping across the road. But by night, he whips out the horns and snaps his cane into a high-tech billy club.
The club houses a cable, hidden blades, a recording device, and exploding pellets.
It can even turn into a boomerang. Man, where do I get one of these? You don't have to be blind, right?
No, but you shouldn't. You already destroy everything without a super club.
Well, I'd need to practice to throw it as well as he does. You know how Captain America tosses his shield all over the place and it always seems to come back to him?
Yeah.
Well, Daredevil does the exact same thing. And he can throw it hard enough to bust concrete. He's super strong. He can lift a 400-pound barbell and chuck it as casually as when I toss a beer away if it's time for a new one.
He's quick enough to deflect bullets with his billy club and skilled enough to bounce one back so it killed the man who fired it in the first place.
Bet that guy wasn't expecting that. It looks like he's firing a Glock, which has a muzzle speed of about 1,200 feet per second.
At just 20 feet away, Daredevil had to react within 17 milliseconds to avoid getting hit. And while he couldn't survive a shot to the head, he's powered through a heck of a lot when compared to the average human.
He's survived zaps from Electro, whose power can burn through metal.
107
He's
armed
fallen multiple
bucks at one
stories and walked away. Powered through a napalm explosion and been hit by a 5-foot bar swung by the Ox, who can tear through metal cages and lift more than 800 pounds.
His keen control over his nervous system has also helped him resist tranquilizers and toxins, but his super senses are also his biggest weakness.
They may give him way more field awareness than most anybody else, but if his opponent knows how his powers work, they can overload his senses with an extremely loud noise or a really bad smell. Like if you had a truckload of screaming skunks you could throw at him. That'd probably work, right?
But even with those weaknesses, Daredevil is a fearsome foe for anyone who would face him, even if he can't see them.
He even managed to balance his life of law and the crime fighting, and became a huge success on his own. Papa Boxer would be proud.
I'm gonna kill you!
You first.
Take your shot.
Dang. You gotta love it when that happens, huh? Well, anyway, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all. Time for the death battle. Who wins? Well, considering Daredevil's a more exploitable weakness, I think Nightwing might be able to do it. You know? Remember, Nightwing's pretty smart. You know, Batman level smart. So, this is going to be hard for Daredevil to compete with. Shall we? Let's see who wins. Here we go. Time to fight. He did say it was live action. See? This is actually one of the Kickstarter goals. A battle like this, you know? Not sure who, but we'll see. Alright. Perfect.
I know you're there. You can leave now, or I can drag you out. It's your choice.
Good.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness. But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over, and I'll get out of your horns. Is that a no then?
It's not. Oi! Alright, Daredevil with the first hit. Crafty. Bring. Man. Starting to struggle a bit. Oh boy, look out. Oh boy. Ooh, armbar. Triangle choke in this case. There's the armbar.
What the?
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Oof. Your arm okay there, Daredevil? Oof. Come on.
What are you?
Got the batons.
Better.
Yeah, nice try. Oh! Ouch! Then? Something else. Oh! That's a crack in the head. Yeah, I'm not gonna help with Daredevil. Remember, outside. Gotcha. Nice try.
I wish I could see the look on your face.
Me too.
Oh, here comes the cry. Yep, I think we figured it out. Oh! And the devil has fallen! Good night, Merritt.
See you in hell.
Sorry, Matt, you just got overwhelmed. KO!
What the? Was that live action? We can do that now?
This was possibly
much.
one of our closest matchups to date. Despite lacking a true superhuman physique, both Nightwing and Daredevil were extremely skilled and deadly fighters.
When it came to overpowering each other, they were pretty dead even. Sure, based on their previous feats, we can tell that Nightwing seemed a little stronger and more acrobatic, and Daredevil seemed a little quicker to react.
But these differences were extremely minimal. It's actually feasible that these two could pull off almost all the exact same feats.
Keyword being almost.
Right,
Normal
with
ones, yeah.
such similar physical abilities, this really came down to their arsenal, Nightwing's gadgets and Daredevil's superpowers. At first glance, these could simply counter each other, making this match completely even again. For example, both could take advantage of the dark with night vision or super senses, but only one set was perfectly suited to actively disrupt the other.
Remember Nightwing's scanning
Yeah.
mask? There's no way he couldn't notice those electro waves Daredevil's radar sense was sending everywhere. Even Mr. Magoo could have figured out something was weird here, let alone the guy trained by frickin' Batman. You know, the greatest detective in the world.
Through a little hand-to-hand action, Nightwing was certainly clever enough to recognize Daredevil's reliance to sound over sight, and had the perfect counterweapon, the ultrasonic wingding.
Sonic
Look,
Wingdings, yep.
I'm sure there were several possible scenarios where Daredevil could have pulled off the win, but more times than not, Nightwing takes this thanks to his athletic skill, detective training, and high-tech gadgets. All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner is
It's
Nightwing.
Nightwing. Honestly, it does make the most sense when you think of it like that. Remember, Nightwing has a way to counter almost anything. Or an almost. But in this case, his superhuman senses, easy. Done. No? If you agree or disagree, let me know. And until next time, like, subscribe for more. Adios.